You're your keep.
Today I did.
Good job. Person.
All right, we are live.
Meeting called to order at 5:30 p.m. Members present, Dave Wells, Jeff Allen, and David Worley. Also John Allison. And absent, Kenny Warning. And first item is approval of the minutes.
Okay, you got, I want for the record, it's just so that we have documentation of the two meetings that were scheduled, but we did not have a quorum, just so we have a record on that we did have that, so. Okay, I'm sorry, you can proceed.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
I'll be December 2nd, 2024.
And we're going to second the motion.
All in favor?
The January 6th and February 3rd regular meetings, there was
No
no
quorum.
quorum, so,
Correct.
all right.
If we're ready for Brian.
Brian? You want to begin, and then I'll try to set up the video.
Yeah, I appreciate that, John. And yeah, I guess I'll just give some context for the discussions you and I have been having. So let me start first. I'm Brian Hudson. I am partnership development manager for the National Fitness Campaign for Kentucky. So working across the state on behalf of the campaign to help communities qualify for funding, develop outdoor fitness infrastructure, and launch recreational programming. And this is a conversation that John and I have been having for a few months as part of the 2025 grant cycle from the National Fitness Campaign. So this is just the next step in the process as we work to qualify Calvert City for funding and support in that grant cycle. Is just briefing you nice folks this evening and giving you all a chance to kind of get caught up on some of the initial discussions that John and I have been having and how the campaign works overall. I think there's been some introductions, but I wanted to start with a quick 3-minute video. I think it's just a really efficient way to give an overview of the campaign, mission, history, impact, a couple of those key details. So I think that's what John's pulling up. John, do you have that ready to go, or I could share that on my end?
No, hang on a minute. Let me see if I can let you share. If you can
Sure.
share, I'll let you run the video. It may be easier that way.
Yeah, let me pull it up. And sometimes I can share, but with no sound. So let's see if I'm able to share it with audio as well. So
There you go.
all right,
You're
I'm
up.
can y'all have audio?
No.
No audio.
No audio. Yeah. I'm afraid I can't share the audio too, which
Okay.
is yeah. So I'll give you the screen back.
Okay. Video went the second one. That's it. Is that the link? No, there it is right there. I'm going to have to copy it. Word paste.
Right there.
Huh?
You got it, you got it, you got it. All right.
You guys ready? Fire. Now then.
We're changing the way America thinks about fitness. From municipal parks and trails to college campuses to high schools nationwide, we're bringing free fitness everywhere, and we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Mitch Minaj, founder of the National Fitness Center. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness court. Redesigned for the 21st century, the fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body weight to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives, so that each day is better than the last. Now more than ever before, it is vital that we move fitness outdoors to remain safe, healthy, and strong.
Mission standards, we can, as soon as we can, we go outside, which is one of the reasons why the fitness program is such an attraction. What impressed us most was their basic philosophy that they want to provide world-class fitness for free. Surely anyone can use it, no matter what your age is, no matter what your physical fitness level is, no matter what your skills are, it is very adaptable.
This fitness court is one of the best things that Santa City has ever done.
Thousands of certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our national fitness campaign. New programs are bringing students outdoors across America. The Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to enroll in these programs. Simply scan the new digital wall with your phone to access a library of free workouts designed to optimize your experience on the fitness court. Learn the moves and take challenges as we dig deep to create impact for our partners across America. This year, we are thrilled to introduce the Fitness Court Studio, the ultimate community wellness hub, uniting the power of yoga, Zumba, bodyweight fitness, and the arts. Fitness Court Public Art continues to grow and inspire across the country as local artists collaborate to bring beautiful, one-of-a-kind murals to life on fitness courts and fitness court studios. We're proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is a priority, you can find a fitness. We're partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for healthy infrastructure. We're bringing fitness courts to within 10 minutes of population centers everywhere.
They provide these wraparound services that from a city's perspective, that's what you want in a partner like this. You want it to come presented to you on a silver platter with a bow tied around it. They're one of the best partners, I think, that I personally have ever worked with.
We serve almost 1.2 million members across Michigan. And this partnership really is an opportunity for us to bring scalable, free health and wellness opportunities to our community. So I would actually invite cities and organizations, big and small, to explore the opportunity to invest in the fitness courts. To be very honest with you, the feedback from different municipalities and different communities has been very positive.
We are committed to raise over $1 billion to bring the campaign 5,000 cities and schools, building the largest outdoor fitness movement in the world. Join us. Let's make world-class fitness free.
So thanks, John. I appreciate that. And am I back on? Can you all hear me as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I just think not only is it a little bit motivating, it always makes me want to get out and do some push-ups and some workouts outside, but I think just gives an overview of the National Fitness Campaign and really that main thrust. The whole goal is to build healthy communities. And we do this primarily by bringing together resources that change the built environment to improve health outcomes at the local level. And we'd like to think that that collective effort makes world-class fitness free for folks out there around the country. So the approach, we're a little unique, our organization, in that we support really all aspects of bringing this to life, this campaign. So we work on the design and planning and feasibility studies, the navigating the adoption process of funding and support, assisting on the funding side as well, what's needed to launch these initiatives within the community. So a pool of grant funding to distribute and consulting in the funding development, all the way through the launch, installation, assembly of the infrastructure. And then importantly, that support continues on the recreation side, so helping communities activate this space for long-term impact. So at a 10,000-foot overview, that's really what the National Fitness Campaign does across the country, across the state. John, I'll turn it over to you because I want to share some of the specific sites that we've been looking at, how we've done a little bit of feasibility study for Calvert City and some of the locations that we had considered for a potential launch.
A couple of the areas were located showed up. One of them actually was in where the new pickleball court's going, so that really is not, we couldn't go there. The other one was originally thought to go south of the gazebo and Memorial Park on the east side of the creek, but the visibility is not good there. The best location that we've found at this point for visibility and accessibility is just south of the parking wall and the drainage there in Memorial Park, between the drainage areas, the walkway, and then the soccer field, the U12 soccer fields. There is a gap. It's kind of teardrop shape in that area. And over on that east side was a real good location. It would fit, even if we wanted to go other and add the studio, which would double the length of it. It's 38 by 38, as we saw here at the court. To add the studio, you had another 38 feet square on the other side of it, making it 76. We would have enough ground to do it like that. Now, if we wanted to do it now or add it later, either one, we would have that option in that area. Okay. So at this point, I'm thinking to do one of these. I mean, we've got the area south of the gazebo, but that does put this a ways away. So maybe that's not the best place for it, especially if you're going to have art on the wall. And the wall is part of it. That's part of the dynamics. That's where a lot of your pull-ups, chin-ups, and all that stuff are being along that wall. But on the back side of that wall is the art. And the art can be something that's already predetermined or preset. And they've got several selections for that. The other is you can have, if I'm not mistaken, you may have to interrupt me here, Brian, but you can have one that's already been similar to something that's already been painted. Or we can get a local, see if we can find a local artist to do something that's so unique, that would be unique to Calvert City. Those are three options. That is totally customizable at that point. So for this type of thing. But I know that what we talked about in our strategic plan, and it came up that we were looking at where was that one? Well, I thought we had a exercise. We talked about the mural, but this is kind of it's an exercise location. So instead of spreading out your exercise along a walking trail, it's consolidated into one spot. Right now, unless we wanted to move, we don't have but one yoga style program. We don't have Zumba. We don't have those things here yet. And we do have the pad at the amphitheater. What we don't have is an outdoor exercise trail or set. This actually is, I liked it because it was so condensed and there was so many things you could do in one spot without having to go the distance, around the trail. And the fact that it's clean. If you look at the overall length, the overall deal. I mean, it's limited to just kind of boxes. And then bars and stuff. It's very simplistic in its design, but it's very, very efficient and effective. And without the moving parts, I think something like this will last a lot longer than one that would have a lot of moving parts to it, or have moving parts to it, which some of the others do have. And I'm not throwing a sales pitch. I just know that there's something that we were looking at strategically for our 5-year plan. So that's one reason when I talked with Brian, I wanted you all to see this to get an idea of what that one is and what we could actually, what's out there. So
when we're talking about a location, we would want a location that's, I don't know, maybe because I'm older, but maybe a little more private, like up top Doctor's Park versus everybody driving by. Are we gonna discourage people from wanting to work out in a little more?
I personally don't think so, because of the look of it, and because you want it to be seen and you want it to be something that people say, well, they've got this. If you put it up on top, it's kind of like Calvert City. Calvert City is hidden. Everybody comes to Calvert City and they think that 62 and 24 is Calvert City. Calvert City is hidden. It's the same thing. If we can put that up on top, it's hidden. People don't see it. They don't know it's there until someone takes them there. This way they can actually see it. You know, people know where the baseball fields are. Lord knows they know where the pickleball courts are as well. But this one is one I think that you have to see. And with the artwork that's on it, you want it to be seen.
Right.
And you tell me, Brian, they could actually face the wall or the mural towards the street, so you're not literally looking at the people as well as you would be. You're looking at the mural, knowing that behind that, from the angle, you'll see that are people back there exercising. So
Indeed, and there's a couple different ways to orient it within the park, just as you noted. A lot of support from our team in that site development, but I think you nailed it with the criteria of what goes into a successful site, and really this is lessons learned from over 600 that we've helped develop across the country. That it's really the best way to think of it is 3 criteria that lead to that successful, impactful site. It's sites that are visible, active, and connected to some pedestrian activity. So where people walk, move on foot, move on bike, and can access that way. Those are the sites that even without programming it, even without running activities on there, people find them and incorporate that into their daily fitness. And that's what we're looking to tap into.
I can send you all the links so you can review that video again. And one of the things I would recommend at one point is just look at the art that's available. Again, I'm not trying to sell this product. I'm just saying that it has such, it meets the request and the thoughts of our strategic plan on two fronts. Yes, sir.
Well, I wonder if you have different sizes besides the 38 by 38. Like say you put some on one end of the trail.
That's what this one is. I mean, we could go something.
I don't know if there's other options to say, well, we want to try to attract you into town by maybe putting one down by on the trail or something, and one smaller here, maybe that big.
Kind of, it might hurt the yoga part of it because you don't really have the big area
I mean,
where people can scan the QR codes and.
Well, I think that if you want, this is one that is going to be 38 by 38. It's a predetermined setup.
okay, so there's not other, that's what I was getting.
That's what this one
Okay.
is. To change that, you're going to add the studio on the other side. That would be all. If you're wanting to do something that runs along a trail, this is not what you're looking at. But if you want something that it's visible, it takes up just a small amount of space, just up 38 by 38. That's not a big area. And we can fit it in area, and something like this can be fit in areas that we might not be able to put anything else in. One of the things I try to do when we're doing these courts and stuff like that is try to maximize the space, the dead space that, we put the skateboard park. That was a triangle that was good for not a whole lot, but it made it a great skateboard park. It fit. We could make it work. Same thing with the restroom and where it went. And we could make it work there. And so it's making the most of your what property you have, because sooner or later you know, we'll put it in so much stuff that there won't be anything left unless you're overlapping different types of, fields. When you've got, disc golf interfering with football or soccer or something like that. That's something we try to avoid. And so what little space we have left, you try to maximize that. That was one of the things I thought, and this way, on a trail, our trail, to put these out on individual stations. The thing you gotta be careful of is along those trails of the way the disc golf goes. Is along those trails as well. Of course, people walking have to be concerned about that as well already. But you start adding someone that's doing exercises, maybe it's a little more, I don't, just something to think about in our overall scheme. So, and like, we're not looking for a decision tonight either.
I mean, one question I had is, there are, I guess, are there other sides? That's what I was getting at. It wasn't for the location or anything. It just, is 38 by 38 the only option, or are there other options to say, maybe do two smaller ones or something?
You see the one with the, see, it looked like it was the 30 by 38 and there were different setups. And then you add, what do you call it, the studio?
The studio is just a
which
38
they had
by
on the other
38
side of the
pad.
wall, which was just like,
Right.
you remember seeing the ones that,
That's-
and those were, and that was where you're doing your yoga and your other
Your
stuff.
studio is where you do your yoga and your Zumba and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, yeah.
Which, I mean, I thought that looked better to me for some, maybe it was just symmetry or something to it, the wall in the middle, but.
It could, that, both of those could fit in that area. That's one of the reasons that we chose, or I looked at that and, you know, when we went through some ideas and that one fit without getting into, we don't want it in the splash pad. This is more of an adults deal. We've got a lot for children. We want something for adults. And this is an exercise program for adults, and the kids are less likely to swarm on it when they're over at the splash pad.
From the trail, well, it's the most highly visible. It is highly visible. That's a really visible spot. But it's also from the backside, probably our most easily accessible from the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, coming out of the neighborhoods, it's just walk up
Yeah,
from Seventh Avenue, hit the walking trail, come straight up, and I mean, you can either go around the front around, you can cut across the field, or you can go around through the gazebo and come up. And it would be, as you go, if you go around the east side on that trail, it would be just past the U-12 and that section right there along that.
yeah.
Okay. Now, it would have to be over somewhat because you've got drainage in there. You got the
That's interesting.
We have.
Can I see what you're
estimated
showing?
costs From this one.
Yeah, I was trying to find a map. I just couldn't picture exactly where. So that front corner. Okay. got it.
let me see and make sure that we're on the same page. You and I did not discuss that.
Oh, this is an old.
Southeast in this area.
Right here.
I was correct. Okay.
You did
That
good.
makes sense. Okay.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
That got rid of the other demerit today, right? Brian, do you have anything else?
No, this is a great discussion, and I think just the point is, as you said, no decisions tonight, just discussion. We're at the stage of the process where we want to confirm, is this in alignment with city priorities? And John, I think I saw you turn around and look at a whiteboard behind you. It looks like it's a pretty full whiteboard. I'm guessing there's some priorities, some topics that you all are looking to address. That's just what we're looking to confirm. So at this stage of the process, qualifying communities for grant funding support, it starts with just that. Does this seem like something that we want to pursue? And then we can continue through the process and hopefully launch this pretty shortly for Calvert City. But with that, are there any other questions around the infrastructure, around the program itself that I can help address?
I was wondering about the cost. I know we need some grants involved, but
It depends on how we go with it. I mean, the cost is gonna be,
ballpark.
the court alone, somewhere around, 180 $181.90, I believe. That's without the grant. And I think, what, 256 on the full court with the studio without the grant?
I think at this age, it's best to look at it as a range of funding, and I'll break down why. But typically, it's between $150,000 and $250,000 per site. Now, that doesn't include the grant funding. You're right; that grant funding is between $30,000 and $60,000, depending on the strength of site, depending on the involvement of a state sponsor, some factors like that. And then the range itself, why it's between 150 and 250, does depend on the configuration of the fitness court. You're exactly right. You know, whether it's that 38 by 38 or the larger studio. It also depends on how communities typically go about infrastructure projects. For instance, can some of the site work that's required, pretty minimal site work, but can that be done by a public works team, done in-house, or does that need to be bid out? So all those things will help navigate that. We'll help drill down on that and find the most efficient solution. But those questions need to be answered before we can really identify the what's all involved. But what's key here is there's support from the campaign through that process. So while some communities choose to tap into budget sources, the capital outlay for the funding match, a number of different options there. We can support with additional grant funding. We could support in pursuing sponsorship. So part of the process is building that funding match for the community.
No. Very, very interesting.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Brian.
Well, thank you all, John. I'll follow up with you another day next week.
That'll be fine. Take care.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Racing Lightfoot, Eagle Scout.
Oh, yeah. Crazy. I handed him out
Okay,
this, okay?
I have a few more papers and pictures that are a little more accurate to what I'm trying to show. That I can hand you guys. But I appreciate that, thank you. Assuming I can find it, personally. Firstly, I'd like to pass it around or whatever, but that's a stack of papers. Since I am doing my project through the Boy Scouts, that is information regarding the beneficiaries and how that process works to the Boy Scout. I met with you guys in December when I first broached the idea of building a Gaga ball pit in Calvert City Park. I don't know how much you guys have thought about that or been milling that over in your mind, but I came back here and I wanted to revisit the topic and hopefully get some more planning and be able to answer questions. So the basic plan at the moment is to build a 20-foot diameter Gaga ball pit made out of that kind of plastic material that you see in the picture right there. It's the same kind of material that holds in the mulch at the park areas with the slides and whatnot. It's that same kind of material. It would be on top of concrete and there would be a rubber mat over top of it and it would secure itself into the ground. I myself can provide labor and a good portion of the cost for that through fundraising and whatnot. I'm here to really answer questions and be able to further this on with what it needs.
This is not a large or a hard project to do overall. It does take some experience. You're talking about a 24 by 24, that's a 20-foot diameter Gaga ball pit. These are the plastic or the heavy plastic timbers like we use the whole thing, the safety material in. They're stacked in a way that creates the height on that. They've got a system to do that. This one that he showed has got the access point has one pier or one timber less, so that's easier to cross over. Uh, They are anchored. Concrete is a 4-inch concrete pour for 3,000 PSI, fiber reinforced over 4 inches of dense grade compacted. And then this unit would be placed in the center with the pad itself would actually extend from corner to corner on the concrete. So inside and out is covered with the pad. So, and the pad is one of those things, a lot of places will do these without the and just concrete without the pad. But to meet our safety standards requirements, we have to have the pad.
And this second picture that you have.
This is just another style. This one is very similar. The difference in this one is it's got a gate that swings and it's also, this is one I found as well. It also bolts Tapcons to the concrete as well. So they're both permanent structures.
This one looks elevated.
It is, it's raised up.
Okay.
One advantage I see to this one versus the other is an ease of cleaning. If you get leaves
Yeah,
or
just blow it.
water or something, that elevation allows it to be cleaned or drained. That would be the only difference that I see, the only advantages to that. These others, push comes to shove, I mean, the cap can be pulled and the timbers can be removed for cleaning if you needed to do it that way as well. This one would be, the other style would be a little bit easier to clean, but this one can be cleaned as well. I mean, it's not that it can't be.
That lower section, by chance, it doesn't swing open, does it?
So in the image that I gave you, that one typically doesn't. They make ones that do, so it's a kind of a door that swings open.
That would make cleaning leaves out, things like that, getting it prepped and also make it ADA.
ADA, I would say ADA.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be more.
I mean, it looks like if that looks like if it were just hinged right, it would do exactly that and just swing in and lock in.
The one that's elevated does have, you're right, it's one of those that has the pin that will allow it to swing open.
Yeah,
But I mean, even with that one, just cleaning on that one because of the elevation on that, just that little bitty height there.
Yeah.
You can push just about everything that's gonna get in there out.
Yeah.
With either a blower or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
There's many different varieties. So if we decide later that you guys would rather, do a door or this or that or whatever, we can always do that. This kind of design would be purchased. So you buy a kit and then you assemble it there on site. So whatever we need to do, if you guys think a raised elevation with a swing door would be better, I can definitely do
But
that.
they're all typically the same.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
it's-
the nuances of the variations of, okay.
yes.
We're talking about a location, I think you'd be talking.
yeah, we looked at several locations and the two that really struck our mind were up here behind the Civic Center where the children's playground is. There are two locations on one on the north, one on the south. The one on the north is a little more compacted area. The one on the south would be between the hydrant, the water fountain, and the playground itself, and would actually have a little more room and would possibly be a good location because I think it would work into our overall plan when we get ready to move toward inclusion. And so I think the location there is a good one, easy to access, close enough that the parents can pull up, everything is right there in view. Whether they're at the swing at one end or for down here in the Gaga ball pit or for over on the other, it's all designed for the same age group. And so it makes it easier for parents as well. And also fits into our scheme, our grand scheme. So I think it's a good project, honestly.
Our public work would put the concrete down and then. he would do
Yes,
stuff.
we would have some help. Some volunteer help
That's
here.
about, volunteers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound like pretty straightforward installation, looks to me like.
We're gonna help teach him concrete work as well as.
Oh, yeah.
Level.
I think it's a really good
Nice
project.
project,
First
Yeah.
I heard of it and just the name alone, I'm going like,
Th- This one looks.
I had
this
no
one looks
clue what he
fine.
was
I mean, I
talking
like
about.
the looks of that. I get, and definitely, you know.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think, I mean, it looks fine as it is, but it would be neat if that were just, it looks like you could just hinge it and swing. it
Well,
right.
actually,
those-
what you're
those are
looking
just
at-
some images I
Yeah.
found off the internet, so
And then again, I mean,
Yeah.
in case there was a person that, you know, it was an ADA issue and, you know, then you could,
This one does have a pin set up that does allow it to swing.
okay.
I'm not sure if this one does, that's fine. The
I
other
like the
one-
lower, you know, I don't know if that messes up the, you know, those of you who played it, if the ball would go out of
so in terms of
the
how,
pit more often.
so in terms of,
How are they?
3 foot. So in terms of how the sport actually works or is played, it's a kind of a 1v1, everybody for themselves, but you stand in this octagonal, like I said, it's a 20-foot diameter ring. And you hit the ball around with your hand, you're rolling it on the ground. And if you hit another person on the knees or below that, then they're out. So typically you're not gonna worry about that kind of rolling under, getting caught under. That shouldn't really be a factor unless it's taller than the ball, which doesn't, they're not typically made that way.
That's good. I mean, that's very classy. It looks like it would withstand weather and.
Like I said, these things are very well made. I mean, we've used them. When you put them down, you don't have to replace them. We've had them there for 10, 15 years, those types of timbers. They call them timbers, believe it or not. So.
Looks good.
Yeah, thank you. The only other thing I had for the board is, I have a project proposal that I need signed before I can actually get, work done. When I talked with Mr. Ward over here, he said that I would need to get your board's signature, and then the mayor's signature
You
as
need the
well.
board to sign as a recommendation, and then the mayor would have to sign off on the overall project before it can move forward.
Yeah.
So you guys would have to make a decision as to whether or not you think this is a good project for our park system.
I like it, especially the area of the smaller kids area up there, and it seems like a great fit. I'll gladly, but I mean, I'll put my recommendation for it. The way this looks, I like it so much better than on grass and mud and dirt.
Yeah.
You're talking about something I think that's more of a permanent structure. Granted, it's something, but I can see, I'm not familiar with it, but I bet my daughters and.
Well, one of the
Kids
things
would
that
tell me,
I'm probably gonna ask for this style,
Uh-huh.
just simply because the more we put up there, the more we have to maintain.
Mhm.
And this one will be easier to maintain for staff. That's the only reason I'm thinking that is because they don't have to break anything down. It's easy to get it cleaned out or blown out, so
Sounds good. I mean, really.
that's the only thing that I would ask.
Yeah,
Is
that's,
that go
I mean, it's an
that?
overall small footprint, and from what I've
Take
heard
the
and
frame.
listened to people, it's a youth group
Like playgrounds and
activity.
schools and stuff. yeah.
I guess, yeah,
it's growing in popularity by the year. I mean,
it's the
I-
next pickleball.
You get a bunch of 9, 10, 11-year-old kids together, they want to play go-go.
There you go.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm
And
good.
from my 2 cents, it's not
You
just
get that
9, 10,
rate
11,
good.
and those
Huh?
Boy Scouts are out of the Boy Scouts.
I think I'm,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And the games go so.
You said something about age appropriate. I was immediately thinking I'm not age appropriate.
No, adults can do this, that's why. it's
Yeah.
so
So
cool.
it is-
That's why I love it.
Huh?
You could get out there, I bet.
Yeah, my orthopedist would love it. yeah.
That's some skis.
Well, if you guys, if you all would, just give a consensus to recommend this
Yeah,
to.
To proceed to
the
review it.
Mayor and council.
So move forward,
Yeah,
proceed.
I would motion to proceed, to
All in favor?
review it further.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so at this point, after this, you can have him sign there as a
Okay.
recommendation. And we'll send that forward to half the councils here anyway, so. I know. All right,
All right, thank you.
Grayson, thank you.
Good job.
I appreciate it.
That's down.
All right. Only thing left now is elections. We are definitely gonna have to have a vice chair, as our other one abandoned us.
You can't just automatically take me to
Uh,
it.
Y'all know You know,
I've got-
unfortunately, my school is the worst, but, Jeff, you're probably more present than. So are we looking for,
Yes,
okay.
right now it's in the mayor's
You were
hands.
supposed to bring a replacement with you.
Yeah. Like I said, right now it's in the mayor's hands.
No more.
So,
Well, I would like to nominate Jeffrey Allen.
well,
or
do chairman first.
Oh,
Well, that's a piece of cake there. I'll nominate.
was that specific? What about chairman or under? No.
You got a recommendation from Mr. Wells?
Yeah, Mr. Wells, I would.
All right, do we have a second for Mr. Wells?
Mr. Wells.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, Mr. Wells for chairman. Mr. Barrett Wells, will you accept that nomination?
Great.
I will.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. Mr. Wells. Now, the vice chair. I think we have a nomination for Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, will you accept that position? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Allen.
Mr. Kenny was here. Yeah. Darn it.
For all the business,
That's
Mr.
what she
Chairman,
said.
it's up to you, call it.
Meeting adjourned at 6:16 PM. All in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Tammy wouldn't.
6:17.